Welcome to, well, more GW casting. Today we have an early replay from yesterday of Elias versus Node ML6. Oh well, sorry Elias, but your avatar's just been given out wide to the internet. Whoopsie. As we can see, we're on the map called Mountains of Persia. Or Persia, whatever the hell you want to call it. Do not know, don't really care. But pretty much, yeah. As you can see, on first glance, it looks like a small map. But be mistaken, this is a massive map. There we go, a 20 by 20. Probably just, it is as big as Septon's Clutch. So, yeah. This is going to be quite interesting. Obviously, we've got some nice defences for the Aeon commander. We've got a T2 radar, SAM, 2 tactical missile defences, and a T2 flak. Obviously, that'll prove me in close combat, because this map is that big, close combat will actually not work that well until they start flying over each other's bases. So pretty much this is going to be quite an interesting game. Obviously, we've got Cybran versus Aeon. Just to let you know, the new GW, the UEF, killed all the Aeon little avatars and ran over their houses with big massive tanks of pillars and used the Percivals to line all Aeon members in a line to say, you're working with us or we're all going to kill you, so fuck you. So now the Aeon are actually part of the UEF army within Galactic War. So we've got little minions to do our bidding. So as we can see, he's going for a quick early air start. And if we have a look at the Cybran, he's going for the early air start because he's realised that this map is as big as it was first previewed in Galactic War. Because Galactic War doesn't actually tell you how big the maps are. But this map is absolutely huge. As you can clearly see, we got a bit of sea. So you could probably have a destroyer or something in there, but won't be able to do much because you've got big massive hills everywhere. As we have a look up the map, all the mechs points are kind of sparsed out every 2 kilometres, give or take a 20 kilometre radius. But pretty much it's going to be quite an interesting fight to see what happens next. Obviously in Galactic War there's numerous things going on and yada 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 and blah 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 blah, but obviously this is going to be the best. Obviously, they've got auto recalls, you've got reinforcements, you've got quite a lot of stuff. So let's see what happens. So if you have a look, the Cybran avatar is going straight for a T1 bomber. So obviously you want to get out there, kill any engineers that are hybriding towards the middle of the map, so he can choke them and kill them all at the same time. So this is going to be quite an interesting fight. We've already got a scout out by the Aeon commander, who's going for his second air factory. Who's got his engineers very straight towards every mass point he can get his crummy little Aeon mitts on at the moment. But yep, this is going to looks like to be quite a decent fight lineup. If we have a look, the Cybran, if the top right of the screen, you can see the Cybran is currently edging out on power and mass thereabouts. Obviously because he knows how much interceptors cost and everything else. You can clearly see 2 air factories have been stationed up on his build queue for the Cybran engineer, and there you go, you've got Mantises coming out, which have just ran straight into the air factory like a little bunch of minus retarded minions. But pretty much going to be quite an interesting game. We have a C, we've got the scout, which is currently being intercepted by the interceptor. Doing his job, but still not good enough to kill it. As we can clearly see, the Aeon commander is going for a 3rd air factory so early on in the game. He's currently getting outmaxed by 2 mass and 40 power a second, so that's quite a big gap in these early stages. Obviously, we've got the Cybran commander going for his second of the build queue as well, so let's have a look what's happening elsewhere. Obviously, he's got his Mantis, the two brainiest minions that walked into the Air Factory in the first place are currently using their big, horrible, stinking, dirty legs to walk around the map. So, obviously, you can see, the Aeon Commander still's trying to rebuild all the mass extractors, but whoa, what was that? We see damage. Oh, it was an Aeon Interceptor got killed. Oh, what a shame. No one really cares though, do they, about Aeon Interceptors? But yeah, pretty much this is going to be a very, very interesting game. So, stay tuned. As we can see, he's got an early T1 transport. He's getting his little Aeon minions to be hushed up into the mid-air. Let's see where they're off to and see if the Cybran Interceptor can kill them all. Or will they even notice that it's happening? As we can see, we've got the transport is going all the way up into this little middle area of the map. Obviously, you've got four mass points in the hill here. So, obviously, this is going to be the key staging point for any attack for both factions, as it's the middle ground on both of them. So, obviously, we've got an interceptor, an Aeon Interceptor, which is harassing a T1 transport. And the transport actually has to land before it can do anything, but it was surrounded by 5 Cybran Interceptors, so that transport is safely away, as we can see it. It's on fire, but it's slowly moving away. But that won the fight. If we have a look elsewhere, the Cybran SU is going for his 4th air factory of the game. So obviously this is both going to be a big, massive air fight. As you can see, the Aeon ACU isn't doing much. Does have a T2 radar up, so he can see anything if he wants to power it up. Oh, but we've got a Cybran bomber making a dive attack. Obviously using the stop command pretty much to get around it. Let's see where it's going to drop the bombs. No, he's not going to drop them there. Has he linked onto the engineer over there? He might have. No, he's still... So he's using the T1 bomber as a scout for the Cybrans. So obviously they don't have radars, but yep, a nice little scout. But we do have the interceptors. So we've got the nice Aeon drop is just being taken place on an uneven ground. But obviously one engineer gets dropped off. But here comes the danger. You've got 6 interceptors, which is just flew over it. Which will, because they're on a patrol, come find it and start intercepting and to kill it. As you can see, 6 of 7 interceptors are actually in pursuit. No, but they've reached the limit of the patrol period and they've actually fell off the face of the earth. But however, we've got the Aeon interceptors, but highly outnumbered in this match. Moving over to really try and put some dominance in this game. As we can see, we've got 4 Cybran engineers creating a T1 point defense and a T1 radar, and he's going for a land spam at that hill. So obviously the hill is going to be a very, very central role to any game in this. As we can see, we've got 2 of them Mantis tanks, which were just scouting around the hill, have killed one of the land factories of the Aeon. So that's going to be quite an interesting fight there now, since it's going to be outnumbered. As we can clearly see, we've got the Aeon interceptors going after the Cybran forces. Obviously, the Cybran interceptors are really going to start killing. Oh no, they're getting shot down one at a time, but it's going to be quite interesting. As you can see there, as the Aeon interceptors were moving away, the Cybrans were following them, shooting them down. That's one common key mistake in this game. That's, yeah, common mistake is if you're outnumbered, you don't turn around and try to run away, because they've got the same speed, and they will catch up and they will kill you. But if you turn round and fight them, you're going to severely deplenish their interceptor force, therefore making any reinforcements that you have kill them faster. If we have a look in the main base of the Cybran unit, Cybran's commander, he's now got a T2 air factory up, spamming gunships, and he's also going for 2 T2 power generators and his second air factory. But what he could have done is just upgraded one of his existing 3 air factories, and he's also building another 2 T1 land air factories in his base as well. So obviously he's going for full air domination. As we can clearly see, we've got the Aeon commander starting to upgrade the massive round of his ACU. So he's only got 1 T2 mass extractor up. He's about 14% way in his second one, and he's got about 7 engineers assisting his T1 air factory. So pretty different tactics being going on here. Obviously we have we have 2 Aeon engineers trying to build some kind of land factory defense for the Cybrans you can see in the background on this match. So obviously contrast of tactics, but pretty much this is going to be quite an interesting game as well, because the Cybrans are securing the foothold on the top of the hill on the left hand side, and they are continuing to increase their hold on there by building another 4 more, but one's partly completed, land factories on the hill. As we can see, we've got the Aeon interceptors nicely shooting the Cybran units down, which is what you want to see in a day, because Cybrans' brains are useless because they're all made of mechanical little idiots. But we've got the Aeon, which kind of have some decent brains for once. As we can see, we've got some Cybran air support coming into play, as the Aeon have looked to landed. Yep, they landed, but they have turned around because they've got a Cybran interceptor right behind the back arse shooting at them, which they still haven't noticed. But oh wait, they're going after the T2 gunship. And as we have a look at the you can see the big massive fight that's about to take place. As the Aeon interceptors start diving to shoot the gunship, the gunship is down, saving the forward base of the Aeons to be able to cope as well as everything else. But obviously they had to drop to kill the gunship, which they've successfully done. Now, can the Aeon get a stronghold against the hill? It'll be 4 factories versus 4 factories, but they've got outstanding Mantis' units already there, so it's going to be quite an interesting fight around that hill. Obviously a key point, it's the middle of the map, with 4 more mass points, which the players need. But we do have T2 gunships making it over the valley. As we can clearly see, they're shooting the T1 mass extractor. And that T1 mass extractor has been obliterated from the face of the earth. And we've also got our T1 bomber, which has only got 2 kills, and he's currently landing. So basically, there is no interceptors in his base. There's only 1 interceptor, and he's building some more now. He's also assisting his T2 air factory to bring some T2 engineers out. If we have a look at the Cybran ACU, he's upgrading his mass extractors at T2. He's using one of the common little tactics in Forged Lines is pause your mass extractor while you're upgrading it, and get all your engineers to upgrade it for you, because at the end of the day, you're still getting mass from it without it being upgrading itself. So you've got a mass increase instead of a mass decrease while you're upgrading your extractors. If we have a look in his main base, we've got 2 gunships currently being harassed by 4 interceptors. One's down, so the other one will be going down very, very shortly. But we also have 2 gunships currently at the bottom right hand corner of the Aeon person's base. So obviously what he's doing is he's eliminating the mass points of the Aeon, so he can't really produce air that fast. As we have a look at the Aeon interceptors, you can see it's currently killing the landed gunship and it's now down. So obviously he's now got interceptors surrounding his base, so no more attacks can happen on his base without him knowing about it, and can be defended quite quickly and easily at this moment in time as well. So if you have a look at the little land fight that's going on, let's +2 this because it's quite a long map, but there's not much happening. As we can see, we've got Auroras currently being attacked by Mantises, but the Auroras have literally been wiped out by the Mantises. I'm not sure if that's down to bad eco, but there we go, the Mantises are now being killed. But pretty much it's going to be an even fight, because it's 4 factories versus 5 factories, so the Cybran at the top have got a factory advantage. But if the Aeon person put his 3 factories at the top together, the Aeon would have a 2 factory advantage over this entire little endeavour in the middle of the map. As we can see, another Mantis fight just happened and just got wiped out. But we do have a small Mantis army surrounded with a mole as well, currently just crawling along behind the big Aeon attack units. As you can see, there's quite a little bit of wreckage already going around the hill, which I'd say is the main focus point in this game. As we can see, there's a nice little air fight going on just over the hill between the 2 players. So that's the only quick play to get it. You build something, you send it straight over, you kill him. Obviously, the Aeon, the Cybran commander, is going for his 4th power generator. Obviously, he's got quite a lot of massing. Let's have a look at both the recos. Obviously, the Cybran commander is currently stalling mass. It's a staggering -98%. Obviously, whatever he's done, he's just finished the mass storage on his T2 mass extractors, but he's currently ecoing so good it's about -20. So that's not bad. If we have a look at the Aeon player, he's averaging about -50, -60. So he is really struggling. As we can see, the Aeon person can actually see everything that's happening in the middle, and also the units that are currently hiding to the left-hand side of his main attack in the hill. But they do have a little scout force going on in the top corner of the map, which is currently being harassed by a T2 gunship. So obviously the gunship is going to make light work of them Auroras. There you go, there's only 3 left. 4 shots of a T2 gunship kills the Aurora, so that's quite good. And you've got a bomber coming in to finish the last one off. If we have a look in, there we go, that Aurora's gone. So at the moment in time, it's about 50-50 map control and 50 land, 50 air. So there's not much happening at the moment, as you can clearly see. Apart from Aeon interceptors getting blasted out of the air by staggeringly over. As we can clearly see, he's got 6 interceptors struggling with air quite badly, so obviously they need to get landed and refuel. As we can have a look, we've currently got a little small squadron of Mantises currently being harassed by Auroras. As we can clearly see, the Aurora is actually kind of hitting, but still getting attacked, but still just in range of them. There we go, you can see him in the background, just slowly shooting and killing him. We've got 2 left. Will they get killed? No, they won't, because he's currently focusing his units on the top side of the map, where he's got them gathered just under the hill. So obviously at the moment in time, the Mantis does have the hill. And obviously in the old versions of World War II, if you had the hill, you could last there for as long as humanly possible. But here they come. We've got the Mantises on the attack. The Auroras are moving in. You see the Aurora range is actually just slowly killing some of the Mantises, but now the Mantises are beginning their push. The Auroras are just absolutely getting hounded. They've just been overrun by little insects, absolutely demolished. Because of that demolishing, the Auroras are trying to run away, but they can't do anything quick enough. Because the Mantises are just coming at them more and more. They've secured that beachhead because it's just been absolutely battering. As we can clearly see, we've got 4 Auroras in there, trying to hold their own against Mantises, but obviously 2 of them are down and only 2 exist anymore. So at the moment, look, we've got T2 gunships going for the forward base of the Aeon. But as we can clearly see, as I zoomed in, you could see a T2 interceptor getting shot down quite quickly and dramatically. As we have a look, we've got the Mantis attack force is still pushing forward to the Aeon base. Obviously, there's nothing that the Aeon can do because they're just getting absolutely out-battered. The question is, what will the Aeon commander do? We will find out very, very shortly. Obviously, the Cybran commander has still only got 2 T2 air factories, and he's spamming gunships and coursers. That's it. He's going for an upgrade on his ACU. Looks like Raz. As we can see, we've got a T2 combat fighter being reclaimed by a T1 engineer. Isn't that an amazing sight, guys? Look at it. Just being sucked up into little bits by the engineer. It's only got another 300 mass to go, HP to go to suck up, but that's going to be quite an achievement for the Aeon, for the Cybran engineer, if that does manage to exist. As we look back over to the forward base of the Aeon, we've now got 2 more T2 gunships inbound, but they're not needed because the existing 2 gunships are doing the job. As we can see, we've got another gunship just joined, and in the far background you can see a 4th one. Obviously, that forward base is now literally getting battered to bits. There's only 1 land factory there, still alive. Won't be for long because the 4th gunship has just joined. So now that base is now just inert. It's been wiped out. No longer exists on the face of the planet and is no longer useful to the Aeon commander. As we can see though, the Cybran commander does have quite a lot of interceptors surrounding his Mantis attack force, but there is quite a bit of an Aeon gathering there as well. But will it be enough to stop him? As we have a look in the overall view, left to right, left is the Cybran, right is the Aeon. As we can see, the artillery shells are going up in the air. The Aeon are pushing in, but the Mantises are fighting the Aeon back. As they keep going under the camera, the Aeon at the back is still trying to harass the Mantises to come forward into the 4 land factory area. But we obviously can see in the background we've got the gunships. So the gunships are inbound. The gunships are currently killing the Aeon force that are currently harassing the Mantises. So it's pretty much of land and air supremacy and domination at the moment in time on this big massive 20 by 20 map called Mountains of Persia. Obviously the Aeon don't really have anything to say about it apart from a T1 bomber which is just flying above our heads. There you go, you can see him. There's 4 T1 bombers just currently around the Mantis' strike force, but as we can see we've got even more inbound which is slowly getting picked off by the T1 bombers, but obviously not enough and not quick enough. So let's have a look in the main base of the Aeon. What's he going for? He's going for a T3 HQ air factory. He's going for a T3 engineer. After the T3 engineer, what is he going to do? Because he needs a new tactic for this because he's losing it. Obviously, you've got 5 air factories building interceptors, and you've got 1 air factory idle. You've also got a T2 land factory almost done, about 84% complete. So you've got gunships just finishing off the Aeon resistance at the top. But as we can see, we've got gunships of the Cybran just finishing that forward base just on the Aeon side of the map. So pretty much it's going to be an Aeon loss at this rate, because you've got Cybran's quickly and powerfully overwhelming the Aeon resistance and the Aurora, which was meant to be so overpowered. It's absolutely unbelievable. But obviously you can see Cybran gunships are slowly doing that, and you obviously can see you've still got bombers. Still got a few T1 bombers in the air. But now we've got T3 interceptors into place. So obviously T3 interceptors and now of the Aeon are now currently killing the T2 gunship. So obviously there's now some resistance from the Aeon, especially in the air, so they can start killing everything faster. If we can have a look at the overall map control, it's pretty much 60-40. Not all mass points are being built by the Cybran avatar, but it's pretty much dominant. But as we can see, we've got a T3 bomber. So if we have a look and we trace what the T3 bomber is going to be doing, so we can zoom in. So if we look around the T3 bomber, we've got interceptors in the back. We've got the Cybran base in front of us. The bomb's dropped. Where's it going to? It's going to the T2 factory. So it killed about 4 engineers. He's doing the T3 bomber drop kill. He's stopped his bomber in the midair. He's focusing it and telling it where to fire. But obviously that's a bad idea, because he's got the T1 interceptor army of the Cybran very, very close to him. So really, he wants to keep that bomber running. He doesn't want to stop it at all. He wants to try and get ahead of it. Obviously, there you go. The bomb's dropped. He's going for the power storage, and he's killed it and the T2 power generator. But now, he's got quite a bit of harassing to do. As we have a look at the Aeon, he's got T3 gunships. So the gunships are now going to start giving a bit of dominance in the air, which is very, very much needed for the Aeon. It's lacking dominance in land, but now it's actually not lacking dominance. It's actually stamping its foot on the game. As you can clearly see, there's a T3 radar neatly placed in the middle of nowhere. So unless that gets destroyed, the Aeon can see everything that's happening. But as we can see on the right hand side of the map, we've got the bomber, which is currently being pursued by a lot of interceptors. And it's now down, but before it went down, it killed the T2 mass extractor and 6 power generators. So that's a victory for him. We can see we've got a Cybran T3 HQ. So obviously the Cybran has just started to build his air in the 27th minute of this match, which is a bit late, but who's counting? As we can clearly see, we've got the T1 interceptors currently being gobbled up by the A of the T3 gunships of the Aeon. So this is going to be quite an interesting game. We've also got Mantis. We've also got a small Mantis strike force heading to the top right of the base of the Aeon. We've also got a small Cybran strike force just behind them to give any reinforcements to. We've also got a small little group of Mantises, artillery, and engineers, which are idle and doing nothing. So that's bad. That is bad play by the Cybran commander. He's not using his T1 interceptors the way he should be. As we can see, the Aeon commander was going to go and try and do a gunship snipe around the enemy ACU. That has failed due to the fact that there is just too much T1 interceptors around the area. And none of the gunships actually have veterancy on them yet. And the gunships are down. So now he's thought of a different plan. I'm going to use the gunships to protect my base from the T1 that is quickly coming my way, which is a good plan. It is a good plan, because if he can't stop this attack, his base will be wiped out. The base on the left-hand side will be wiped out quickly and fastly and swiftly. And then which will leave his main base open to be attacked, which isn't what he really wants. So that's not pretty good. As we can see, we've got two coursers currently flying over a T3 gunship. They've gone and sniped the T2 mass extractor. But one of the coursers have taken heavy damage from a T3 gunship that was just above it. But now they're moving on to a second mass extractor. And they have actually almost killed that mass extractor, but the 5 engineers got away before they could get destroyed. So that is a bonus for them. That's a bonus for the Aeon. He can quickly build that up with no problems at all. So, yeah, so let's have a look what's going on. He's got a T2, good T2. Corsair trying to take down a gunship. That doesn't work. Even a T3 interceptor tries to take down a gunship. Even that struggles. Obviously, we've got the 5 engineers currently moving back in to rebuild that T1 mass extractor that got killed, as well as the 3 mass storage. As we have a look to this base, the quick Cybran attack has just now been thwarted by the T3 gunships, as well as a T2 point defense. But wait, has it been thwarted, or has it spurred on the Cybran commander? Because as we have a look, we've got an endless stream of Cybran units quickly and swiftly closing in on the Aeon base. So what will happen? He's got T3 interceptors. He can protect them land units from the T3 gunships. Can the Aeon commander protect the gunships from the T3 interceptors? As we can see, we've got one more gunship being killed by an interceptor. Obviously, you want to try and do another quick snipe on a T2 mass extractor, but obviously not that good. He still hasn't rebuilt the mass extractor the T2 mass extractor that got killed in a T3 bomber attack about 10 minutes ago. That's bad. That is bad gameplay. Unless he really wants to try and win this game, he needs all the mass points he can get. So if we have a look at the overall map control, the Cybran, apart from that one mass extractor, has got mass dominance. He has got mass dominance. The Aeon is losing the Aeon is losing by about 5. The Aeon's losing by 5 mass points. That's not good. Obviously, we can see the Aeon commander got really bored of the T1 interceptors that was just hovering over there, so he went in and killed most of them. But they don't pose a threat anymore. However, the T3 interceptors pose a big threat to the T3 gunships, and now they are taking out the gunship. But wait, what's this? We've got the Aeon T3 interceptors coming into play. So as we can see, the Aeon are making quick work of the Cybrans. So that's good. That is good. That's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the Cybrans die. We want the Aeons win. As a UEF commander in GW, we want the we want to win. We want the Cybrans to lose. We'll be taking the Cybrans over unless the Cybrans come and stir things up. Because the Cybrans are a bunch of cowardly little wusses that sit in the base all day long and can't do nothing. So, and we've proven that, because even though the Aeon have actually been even though this Aeon commander has really started to lose badly, we've got a nice little that's quite a nice little tactic there going on by the Cybran commander. Let's put our units up the hill. Instead of on the land, we'll walk over the hill like this. It's a bit like the Battle of the 300. We'll go around the back of yous, but we won't go through yous. But obviously there's T2 point defense has been built, and obviously the T2 then there's a T2 shield in that little area. But yeah, the Mantises are currently creating havoc for anyone around there. But they've still got an even bigger force en route now as well. There we go. In they go by one they go to die one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The Cybrans are going to die, they're going to die a painful death because they're absolutely shit VT2PD. As we have a look at the fight just outside the Cybran base, we've got gunships on it. We've just got gunships, 2 long gunships, but they are surrounded by the army of T3 interceptors, just harassing the Cybran commander. So this is going to be a nice Cybran commander. As we can clearly see, interceptors of the Aeon are currently destroying all the T1 interceptors. I don't know why the Cybran commander still thinks T1 interceptors are a good idea. All they are doing is vetting the T3 interceptors there. He's not even building any T3 interceptors from his air factory anymore. So what's he got planned? It looks like he's actually given up. So the question is, can the Aeon really come back and do something? I think the Aeon can, because the Cybran seems to have just given up. As we can see, we've got some more Cybrans just on the outskirts of the Aeon base. So will they push through? As we can see, we've got a T3 gunship, a lone T3 gunship surrounded by 2 interceptors. He's got his own little interceptor party coming up to do stuff. Obviously, we can see the Cybran commander. He's now T3 and he's building a T3 power generator. Now he's also going for SAMs. So pretty much the SAMs are going to start doing trouble to the interceptors. But the gunships, however, ain't anywhere near the SAMs or the flak of the Cybran base. Will be doing devastating issues towards the Cybran. Because they are still just going around the base, killing all the mass extractors anywhere near him. Obviously, we've got the Cybran creating a hell of a lot of T1 flak, T1 turrets. Don't know why. Not really of any usefulness at this point or stage. So you can see we've got the Cybran A currently shooting down the interceptors. So obviously them 2 in A can kill the interceptors. We've also got the Cybran ACU is now building a small Cybran flak and SAM defense around his base. Would have been quicker if he put it closer to his mass extractors to try and protect them. But no, it doesn't matter. As we can see, we've got the T3 gunship just slowly making their way around the base, going for that lone T2 mass extractor there and wiping it from the face of existence before the Cybran commander can do anything whatsoever. But let's have a look. What's happening? Oh, we got an army of T3 bombers. So that's what you class as kind of overkill. You got T3 bombers killing T1 mantises. That is overkill. It's quite a nice bit. It's quite nice overkill. Obviously, the Aeon has brought up a tactic where he can't lose now. So he can't lose, so that's pretty much a given. But this small forward base of 2 T1 point defences and 2 T2 point defences is currently under heavy attack by the Mantis spam. Obviously, T1 point defence is doing quite enough damage as it is. But obviously you've got the T2 point defense, which is longer range and doing even more damage. As we can see, the T3 arty is doing the job. The T3 bombers are just slowly picking off everything around the base. Obviously, there was a T3 radar here by the Cybran, but obviously he's being killed because it's been snooped out. As we can see, we've got T3 bombers just killing anything and anyone that they find piss them off now, because this is pretty much a bomber pissing off contest now. So if we have a look at see what's happening now, obviously map control still in the Cybran's hands, but we've got the bombers. We've got 8 bombers quickly making their way to the Cybran base. Now the question is, what has he got planned? Is he gonna do a snipe and snap? He's gonna do an ACU snipe, isn't he? Yes, he is. He's found the ACU of the Cybran, he's going to do it. Obviously, the Cybran managed to completely miss the T3 bombers, as you can clearly see there. Obviously, you can see debris falling from the skies. That is the T3 interceptors of the Aeon dying quickly. Obviously, there's 4 more T3 bombers left in the air. And there we go, good game. So obviously, the Aeon command decided to go for a big, massive Aeon wipeout with the T3 bombers, but the Cybran have lost, so that's hooray to the UEF. And thanks for watching. There'll be another cast very, very shortly.